You can find your way onto your back, lowering yourself into your Shavasana. Taking a few moments to settle in, find stillness. Connect with your breath without trying to change its rhythm or its rate. Simply become aware of its presence in your body. Begin to direct the breath in and out through just your nose. Take a big breath in through your nose. Let the belly rise up towards the ceiling. With a slow breath out, belly falls. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly falls. Continuing with that slow rhythm of breath. Each breath in, your body's invitation to take up space in the room that you've chosen for your practice. Each breath out, really grounding you here on your mat. Each breath in, a sense of openness, spaciousness. Each breath out, letting go of any tension, any thoughts or stresses that are no longer serving you. Releasing the fingers, the toe, the ankles and wrists, and allowing the limbs to grow heavy on your mat. The limbs still engulfed in stillness. Just slowly turn your gaze over to the right, sending your right ear down to the mat. Back through center, and then over to the left. Taking just a few slow, deep breaths here, creating some space at the right side of your neck, and allowing the rest of your body to stay in stillness. Gaze back through center. And start to slowly awaken the body, one finger at a time, one toe at a time, by wiggling the fingers and toes. Find some gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles. In both directions. Slide the feet together at the bottom of your mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. lengthening through the spine. With each breath out, hugging the knees in a little bit closer. Be a gentle rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Drawing circles with the knees if that feels good. Circling in the opposite direction. Pausing in the center, knees drawn in towards your chest, just stay here. Or option to draw your chin towards your chest, bring your forehead to your knees. Lifting the head and shoulders up off of the mat. Really focus on the breath. It can become easy for the breath to become short and sharp in this compressed position. So focusing on those inhales and soft exhales. Big, long, slow breath in. And a soft, controlled breath out. One more big breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower the head onto the mat, shoulders as well. Take hold of just the right knee, extend the left leg long to the bottom of your mat, wind relieving pose. Right knee hugs in towards your chest. Left leg is long and active, reaching through the left heel, draw your left toes to your face, and allow the right ankle to relax. Filling your belly with breath here. So much so that on the inhale, the belly starts to press the thigh away from you. As you exhale, belly softens, creating space for your knee to draw inwards. Gentle rotations in the right knee. In both directions. Find stillness in the center. Start to bend the left knee, bring the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Right knee stays drawn in. Reach for your strap, so that can be a long towel, it can be a yoga strap, a leash, a belt, anything that you have nearby. Loop it over the right foot, the ball of the toes. Start to send the right foot up towards the ceiling with a deep flex in your ankle. Soften the shoulders, the elbows down towards the mat. So slide your hands down your strap until you're able to rest the upper body softly on the floor. Left leg can stay bent, or you can extend it long. Left leg, if it's extended, is active, so you're reaching through the left heel. All the muscles are drawn in towards the bones. The left toes, the right toes as well, for that matter, are drawn towards your face. Press the right heel up towards the ceiling. Press the right hip down into the mat as you draw the toes towards the floor behind your head. Using the strap only as a guide, never being forceful. Another option here is you can always cross the strap behind the calf, making an X in the strap on the back side of the lower half of your leg, and then drawing the legs towards the floor behind you. It just adds a little extra support behind the calf and encourages a deep flex in the right ankle. So just choosing whichever variation feels best to you. If the strap is behind the calf muscle, really start to press the leg into the strap into the leg. Draw the right kneecap up towards the right hip as the right hip reaches down into the ground. Take a few circles with the right ankle, pointing and flexing through the toes. Circle in both directions if you chose a circular motion. And then with that same deep flex in the right ankle, bring the left hand down onto your left hip. Keep the left hip drawn towards the mat. And then start to open the right leg up towards the right side wall. As you're opening it up, make sure that it's not reaching towards the bottom of your mat. Keep it at the height you have and go over to the side rather than towards the side and towards the bottom of your mat. Work on having a straight leg, even if that means not getting quite as low with the foot. Left hip is pressing into the mat, and we're finding space here through the inner right thigh. The toes of the right foot are pointing the same direction as the right knee. Every few breaths, maybe you're able to reach the toes of the right foot a little bit further beyond the right shoulder. So over to the right and up towards the room behind your head. And just a few more breaths here on this side. And then slowly bring the right foot back through center. Bring the strap into the left hand. Bring your hand, the right hand, into a capital letter L. So the thumb extending away from the index finger. Palm faces the floor. Press your thumb into the right hip crease. Send the right hip crease away from your shoulders down into the mat and keep it there. Deep flex in the right ankle. Start to walk the right foot a couple of inches over to the left, so it should not go beyond your left hip. From here, turn the toes a little more to the left. So if the toes are pointing at 12 o'clock, point them over to 11 o'clock. For a little bit of an internal rotation on the left foot. Press down to the outer right hip. Keep drawing the toes beyond the left shoulder. Right hip is still in contact with the mat. Turn the toes to face neutral. And continue moving the right leg over to the left, this time into a twist. So now we're allowing that right hip to lift up. Sending the right foot all the way over to the left. Straight leg. Release the right arm at your side. Gaze can be neutral or over to your right. You can place a pillow, a block, or some support beneath the right knee. The right thigh rather, or beneath the right ankle, just to bring the floor a little bit closer to it. Right shoulder stays roughly in contact with the floor. It's okay if it lifts up a little bit, but that just turns us into lying on our side rather than bringing a twist into the spine. Gaze comes back through center. Right leg will follow. Just finding a few more breaths here in the center, drawing the toes towards the floor behind your head. The left leg is extended long. You can bend at the left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the mat. release your strap. Get an external rotation at the hip by turning the right toes over to the right. Bend at the right knee and bring the pinky toe edge of your right foot onto your left thigh. Right knee's reaching away from your shoulders. At the same time, your left hip crease is reaching away from the shoulders and down into the mat. Pressing firm through all four corners of your pelvis. You're feeling a nice stretch into the right hip, the right thigh here. Stay as you are. Or you can start to draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder, taking hold of the back of the left thigh or the left shin. Continue to firmly press the right foot into the left thigh as the right knee reaches away from your shoulders. Soften your jaw, your face. Allow the shoulders to rest comfortably on your mat. Your left foot onto the floor. Let the right foot join it. Gentle rock from side to side, releasing that. And then extend your legs to the bottom corners of your mat. Find a mini shavasana here. Without judgment, without attachment, just noticing any changes from one side to the other. With your breath. Slowly slide your feet together at the bottom of your mat. Tuck the knees in towards your chest. Interlacing the fingers around the knees or thighs. Again, just a few gentle rotations in both directions. Stillness in the center. Take your grip over to just the left knee this time and extend the right leg long to the bottom of your mat. Right foot is active with the toes drawn towards your face. Left knee hugs in. The left ankle can relax. Wind relieving pose. With every breath, the belly rises and falls, massaging internal organs and aiding with digestion. Stay here in stillness, working on your breath, or just take a few gentle rotations with the left knee. Being as still as you can through the right side of your body, really isolate the movement to the left hip. Change direction of those circles. Find stillness in the center. Bend at the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. That just helps to create a little more space, make your left foot more accessible, to loop your strap over the left foot. And extend the left foot high to the ceiling, flexed ankle. Relax the shoulders and upper arms onto the mat. And once you feel stable, you can choose whether or not to straighten the right leg or keep it bent. Left hip is reaching away from you and down into the mat. Use the strap to apply gentle pressure to the left toe mounds. At the same time, reaching the heel in the opposite direction. Heels lifting up, toes are drawn down for a deep flex in your ankle. Active thighs. The right leg tends to fall into softness while we're in this pose. Really focus on keeping it active as well. The toes of the right foot are pointing towards the ceiling, with the heel resting on the mat. More breaths here in the center. And bring the straps into your left hand. Let the right hand rest on the right hip, encouraging it down into the mat and asking it to stay in stillness. Left toes are reaching behind your head. And then start to draw it over to the left side of the room, keeping that distance. Pausing when you feel a little bit of resistance, a little bit of tension through the inner left thigh. The body's natural inclination is to start to draw the left heel towards the right heel to ease off on that stretch. So really focus on mindful movement here. Pausing in the area that you feel a stretch, offering a few breaths before lowering deeper. Being open to the idea that you're going to be a little bit tighter on one side than the other. So you may not make it quite as deep on this side. Just a few more breaths. Slowly, with control, come back through center. Take a big breath here in the center. Make that capital L shape with your left hand. Palm faces the floor. Slide your left thumb into your left hip crease where your fleshy bit of your thigh meets the pelvis. Send the left hip crease away from the shoulders down into the mat and hold it there. Toes draw behind your head. And then start to shift the left foot slightly over to the right, just a couple of inches. We're not coming into a twist just yet. You want your left hip to stay on the floor. The left foot should probably come no further than the right hip. Left hips reaching away from the shoulders, down into the mat. Left toes reaching towards the floor behind the right shoulder now. And then start to find a little bit of an internal rotation. Point the toes of the left foot slightly to the right. Shifting that stretch a little bit more into the outer left hip and glute area. Maybe up the back of your left thigh. Keep your right toes pointing towards the ceiling to the best of your ability. One more big breath here. Let the toes find their neutral position. And then we'll start to find our way into the twist. Bringing Reaching the left leg over towards the right. Left arm can extend long at your side, gaze to the ceiling or over to the left. You can support beneath the left leg however you choose, with pillows or blocks, couch cushions maybe. Reaching the left hip away from the left shoulder, creating distance between the two and lengthening up your left side body. If it becomes too much at any time, you can always bend the left knee. Gaze comes back through center. Left leg will follow. And take a few more breaths here in the center. Bend your right knee, sole of the right foot to the mat. Release your strap. External rotation with the left toes, they start to point to the left. Bend the left knee and bring the pinky toe edge of the left foot onto the right thigh. You can play with the height of the heel, so maybe it's up close towards the knee. Maybe it's drawn in a little bit closer towards your pelvis so that the entire length of the left foot is on the leg. Left knee reaches away from the shoulders, flex in the left ankle, so draw your left toes towards your shin. Be stable through the left ankle. Keep pressing the pinky toe edge of your foot into the right thigh. Square up your hips, and if you're still not feeling a stretch, you can start to draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Take hold of the back of the right thigh. And as you do that, you're going to start to feel the left knee draw in towards the shoulder as well. Keep pressing that away from you. Maintain a long neck. Chin draws towards your chest. The right foot slowly onto the mat. If it's lifted, let the left foot join it. A gentle rock from side to side with the knees. And find some stillness in the center. Soles of the feet come to touch. Let the knees fall open like a book, creating a diamond shape with the legs. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and just start to notice the gentle rise and fall of belly and chest with each breath. Come back towards one another. Reach your right arm up overhead and roll over onto your right side body. You can use the right arm as a pillow. The left palm rests softly on the floor or your body. Draw the knees in towards you, really rounding through the back body. When you feel ready, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. It could be sitting cross-legged, it can be up onto a pillow or a block. And take some gentle rotations with the upper body, drawing circles in one direction and then the other. Find stillness in the center, tall spine, shoulders over hips. And start to move through a few cat and cows. So in this seated position, we're going to reach the tailbone back behind us. Bring the belly and heart forward, lift the heart up towards the sky as you gaze up. On the exhale, scoop the tailbone beneath you, round through the back body, chin to chest, gaze to the belly as you hollow out the chest and ribcage. Big breath in, tailbone reaches behind you, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, rounded spine, tuck your tailbone, hollow out your chest, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cat. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Finding 3 more at your own pace. Linking each movement to a breath. Allowing each cycle to be a little bit slower and smoother than the one before. Really finding some fluid movement through the spine. Landing in the neutral spine once you get there. Taking a few more of those gentle rotations in each direction. Reach for a strap or whatever you're using for a strap at home. Stay sitting tall. We're going to take the strap into our hands and slide your hands as far apart as you can to begin. Check in on your wrists. We want to make sure that the wrists are straight and stable, that they're not buckling and bending sideways as you extend long. Straighten them out. Shoulders are away from the ears, not creeping up towards them. With the arms nice and wide, sitting up tall, big breath in, reach up overhead. On an exhale, slowly lower the arms back behind you. Big breath in, arms reach up. Exhale to lower. Check in with your body. You can adjust the strap as much as you need. The more narrow the grip, the more challenging this is going to be, the more tightness in the shoulders and upper body. So as you inhale, reach up. As you exhale, if you notice you're finding some resistance, it means the hands are too narrow. Start to slide them away from each other until you're able to reach back with straight arms. Resisting temptation to bend at the elbows. Big breath in, reach up, straight arms, straight wrists. Exhale, lower. Continue going through those motions with your own breath. Being really mindful here that as you lift up and lower, you're stable through the upper body. We're not swaying forwards and backwards and using momentum, rounding through the spine in order to get through that motion. You want to stay sitting up tall and let the movement come through the shoulders instead of the spine. Following your breath. Core is engaged, lower ribs draw in. Continuing with a few more at your own pace. next time you come forward through center, pause there. If you're sitting cross-legged, a great opportunity to recross in the opposite direction, staying even from side to side, but staying sitting tall. Reach up high above your head, pause there. Draw the arms away from each other, nice and wide. Strong, stable wrists here, tall spine. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, start to bring the right hand towards the floor beside you, left hand's reaching up for the sky. Maintaining a little bit of tension between the strap and between your hands. The heart is square with the room in front of you. The center of your chest is facing the room in front of you, not the floor and not the ceiling. A lot of times the left arm here is going to want to start to reach back behind you. See if you can keep it reaching up towards the sky and over to the right side of the room. Press down firm through the left hip, creating length of the left side body and into the ribs. Center, and then over to the left. Making any adjustments in the width of the strap as you need. Paying attention to whether or not the shoulders are creeping towards the ears. Draw your low ribs up towards the ceiling and slightly behind you. Come back through center. Exhale to lower. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll in both directions. And take the strap this time a little bit more narrow in the hands. You can reach up and you would want it to be about the distance of the shoulders apart. So if you imagine I'm wearing a tank top, so it works a good example. Tank top straps, bra straps. Lining the thumbs up with that area, that's about the width you want to have. The shoulder joint, not the outer part of the shoulders. From here, reach the arms out long in front of you so that they're roughly parallel, like the number 11 with one another. Strap firm in the hands, tension in the strap. Shoulders draw away from your ears and just really pull tension on the strap. Again, making sure the wrists are straight, not buckling to the sides. And we're just holding that tension. Start to reach the knuckles away from you as you round through the upper back, chin to chest. Still holding on to that tension. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. Arms working to be roughly parallel with the floor, not pointing down towards it. Rise back up, release the strap, shoulder rolls in both directions. We're going to come seated with the legs extended long, ankles flexed. You can give them a little bit of a wiggle here, especially if they've been crossed for a while. Pointing and flexing through the toes, finding circles through the ankles. In both directions. Lift your hips up, slide your glutes out from beneath you so that you're able to sit up a little more tall. Loop your strap over the feet. Ankles are flexed, tall spine. Using the straps in your hands only as a guide, start to draw the heart forward as you fold forward. You want to maintain a straight back. We're not coming into a rounded cat-like back here. The ankles stay flexed with the tension on the strap. Reach the tailbone away from the heels and down into the mat as you lengthen up through the top of your head. You can be active through the biceps here if you like. Strong arms, elbows drawn in close to your body, shoulders away from your ears. If you're feeling this into the low back, it could be a sign that you're rounding. More so into the bottom of the thighs. Slowly walk back up. Release the strap. Bend the right knee, bringing the sole of the right foot onto the floor, and then open the right knee up towards the right side of the room. Sole of the right foot is somewhere on the inside of the left leg. That can be up at the thigh, it can be further down beyond the knee, whatever is fine. Turn to face the right knee. So the center of your chest is coming towards the point of the right knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand comes to the left leg. Right fingertips reach up towards the sky and over towards the left toes. We're not necessarily trying to grab the toes here by showing our chest towards the floor. Instead, think about opening up the chest, reaching the fingertips up and over. Finding a bit of a twist and a side bend at the same time. Really drawing the center of your right waist to the right ribs up towards the sky as if someone's pulling on your shirt. Rise back up on the in-breath. Turn to face the left leg this time. Center of the chest is in line with the space between the big and second toe. Lengthen through the spine and then start to fold forward over the left leg, straight back. Again, option here to use your strap. Move that over the left foot and then use that to find some depth. Left ankle is flexed but not collapsing under the weight of the strap. Strong ankle here. Left heel's reaching away from the left hip reaching away from the left heel and down into the mat. The shoulders are approaching the floor at equal rates. We're not opening the chest up to the right side here. And the tailbone's reaching away from the top of your head. Slowly release. Release the strap. Extend the right leg long to meet the left. And give them a wiggle. Maybe pausing for a moment just to see if there's difference from side to side. We'll move through the opposite side, so sit up tall first. Bend the left knee. Open the left knee up to the left side of the room. And bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the left leg, or right leg rather, somewhere. Start to twist the upper body to face the left knee. Sitting tall, right ankle is flexed, toes draw towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right arm to the right leg. Stay open through the chest. Left fingertips reach up and over to the right. You can use the inside of the right hand or the right elbow to apply gentle pressure to the inside of the right leg to help go a little bit deeper into the twist, but being mindful not to be forceful here. Left hip's pressing down, right fingertips are reaching away from it. Rise back up. Turn to face the right foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward over the right leg. Again, option to bring your strap into play here to make the right foot a little more accessible. Lengthen first and then fold. Notice if one shoulder is closer to the mat than the other. Big toe mound and pinky toe mound are equal distance from your chest. Right hip crease is reaching away from the right heel down into the mat as you lengthen through the top of your head. Rise back up. Release the strap. And set it aside. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. Give them a wiggle. Into a stretch for the top of the thighs. So an option to you is to just lie on one side, draw the heel in towards your bum, and work from here, squeezing the right heel towards the right glute and lengthening up the front of the right leg. And then switching halfway through. Otherwise, we're going to come into reclined hero pose. So come to the edge or end of your mat. Knees can be a little bit wider. Heels are beneath your bum, just to the outer edges of your hips. Shoelace side of your feet is on the floor. I'm gonna come. So you can see how my feet are creating almost a little curved bowl for my bum. Toes point inwards, heels point out. If that's uncomfortable, you can also come to sit onto a block or a pillow. A little bit of space between the knees is okay, so I've got some space here. This in itself may be a lot of a stretch for some of you. Just stay here. Otherwise, you can start to walk your hands back a little bit. Keep pressing down through the knees, through the fronts of your shins. Maintain a straight back, engaged core. If you're still not feeling a stretch, you can lower down onto forearms, or all the way down onto your back with the arms extended long. Supporting beneath your upper body with pillows, bolsters, blocks. Wherever you are, consider scooping the outer hips beneath the pelvis, sliding the tailbone away from the crown of your head, pressing down firm through the entire fronts of your shins all the way to your knees. If you're lying on one side, you can always switch to the other side now, making sure you're even from one side to the other. Scooping your tailbone, staying open through the front of your pelvis. And if you're laying all the way on your back, you can start to come up onto forearms, walking up onto your hands, bringing the hands in front of you, lifting the weight up, untucking the toes, and coming to sit on the heels once again. Walk your hands up onto your shins, and just take a few moments with the weight on the heels, bringing a bit of a stretch into the underside of your feet, heels drawn towards one another. Taking a few breaths here. Slowly come forward to a tabletop. Lowering yourself onto your bum, and eventually all the way onto your back. The feet can walk a little bit wider apart to the edges of your mats. Let the knees tip into touch. Release your arms at your sides and find a few breaths here in stillness. The knees supporting one another, the low back releases. This is always a great alternative to Shavasana, an excellent resting pose if you have low back or hip sensitivities that make it uncomfortable to lie on your back. Feet stay wide apart, draw the knees away from one another. And then let the knees start to tip over to the right, maintaining that distance between your feet. Always the option here, if the knees are close to the ground, to bring the right heel on top of the left knee for a little bit of added weight. Gaze is to the ceiling or over to the left. Left hip is reaching up towards the ceiling over to the right as the left knee is pressing down towards the mat. Back through center. Release the right foot to the floor if it's on top of the left knee. Bring the knees back through center as well. Feet are still wide on the mat, maybe a little sway from side to side to release that. And then lower the knees with control over to the left. As the inner thigh, the inseam of the right pant leg comes towards the floor, just check in. If there's a lot of space there, you're better not to use the left foot. You're better to just stay as you are. But if there's a small gap between the right knee and the floor, you can always place the left foot on top of the knee and use it to lengthen out of the hip and guide the right knee down. So it's not just that downward motion, it's also a lengthening direction. Gaze is to the ceiling or over to the right. Let your gaze come through center. Release the left foot, knees find center as well. And a gentle sway from side to side. Heel toe the feet towards one another. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give them a hug. And then send the feet one by one up towards the ceiling. Releasing the hands at your sides. Option here is to bring a pillow or a block beneath the hips for a little extra height. And just to relieve any pressure in the low back that may be associated to this pose for you. Tuck your shoulder blades beneath you, stay open through the chest, arms softly at your sides. Just settling into waterfall pose or legs up the wall is another name for it. This is a great posture for those who have trouble sleeping. It can help with insomnia, help slow the heart rate, while allowing the blood to passively return to the heart. return to that slow rhythm of breath in and out through the nose. Long breath in through the nose. Feel the belly rise up towards the ceiling. Soft breath out. Belly contracts and lowers back down to the floor. Big breath in for 3, 2, 1. Slow breath out for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing with your own breath, your own count. Maybe you choose to finish your practice here in this pose for a few more breaths, a few more moments. Otherwise, you can start to bend the knees. Lower the soles of the feet onto the mat. Slide out any props beneath your bum. And extend the legs long to the bottom corners of your mat, settling into your final Shavasana. Taking these few moments on your back in your Shavasana, your final resting pose, to allow your body to really absorb the benefits of your practice. At the same time, letting go of any attachments you might be holding onto from this practice. So whether that's a pose that you could do, one that was maybe a little more challenging or uncomfortable, not holding on to that, not taking it with you into your day or your week. Instead, just setting it aside, returning to your breath, and being in this very moment of time. You can hold on to that count of 4 or 5 seconds for each breath in and each breath out, giving yourself permission to lose count at any time, to start over at any time, or to simply return to your natural rhythm of breath. When it feels time to get up and go, you're welcome to do so. Moving slowly and mindfully. Taking a bit of that breath, a bit of this practice with you into the rest of your week. Your weekend to follow. With such gratitude as always. Namaste.